Kate Moody is here, starting out in Argentina, where the government has erased its restrictions on buying foreign currency. Over to you, Kate.
Hi, Claire. This comes a day after the peso suffered its sharpest one-day fall in over a decade. The country is facing double-digit inflation, low economic growth, and dwindling foreign reserves, which are needed to meet debt payments and finance economic stimulus programs. Catherine Spencer explains.
With reserves of US dollars running low, Argentina's central bank has stopped liquidating them to try to pop up the peso. But the suddenness of the government's decision has sent the value of the nation's currency plummeting. The peso's fallen 16% against the US dollar in just 2 days.
Until the government has a programme that is more consistent, these measures taken in an isolated manner can be the right ones in trying to regain lost competitiveness. But they end up being diluted because the inflationary process eats up everything that's been achieved with the recovery.
As the nation's currency goes into freefall, the government has eased restrictions on buying dollars. Argentinians will now be able to buy dollars for their personal savings accounts, and the tax rate on dollar purchases has been reduced. This should help tackle the thriving black market trade in foreign currencies triggered by the lack of access to dollars. Many people keep emergency supplies of dollars after the country's 2001-2002 financial crisis, when banks froze deposits, inflation soared to 41%, and the country defaulted on its international debts.
There is no economic security, no judicial oversight. Nobody knows where this is going. Everybody pulls back and waits, but by waiting, this economic situation implodes.
There are concerns that devaluing the peso could increase inflation, which already reached 28.4% last year, according to private sector estimates. But exporters have long called for devaluation to boost the competitiveness of their products like wheat, soybeans and beef.
Let's turn to Davos now, where France's weak economic recovery has been singled out for criticism. The president of the EU Commission, José Manuel Barroso, calling on François Hollande's government to step up the pace of reforms. Our team at the World Economic Forum caught up with French Finance Minister Pierre Moscovici, asking if he thinks France really has become the new sick man of Europe.
France is not under attack, and French bashing is something stupid. It's part of caricature and prejudice. France is the fifth economy in the world. It's the second economy in Europe. It's a strong economy with the capacity to innovate, with a strong educational system. Of course, this country, as others, is in the crisis and is getting out of the crisis now. And this country needs to improve its economy. We need to reduce our deficits. We need to reduce public indebtedness. We need also to strengthen competitiveness and attractiveness. And this is precisely what we are doing. We are reforming this country.
The French finance minister speaking exclusively to France 24 there in Davos. Now, concerns about Argentina, as well as the political troubles in other emerging markets, saw a major sell-off in global markets this Friday. U.S. stocks plunging about 2% as Wall Street recorded steep losses for the week. The Dow plunging over 300 points, the worst drop since June. The S&P dropping below the key 1800 level for the first time in over a month. Red across the board in Europe as well. The CAC 40 here in Paris closing down about 2.8% earlier. Germany's DAX down about 2.5%. The FTSE in London down more than 1.5%. Now, the United States has banned products from another factory of India's largest pharmaceutical company. Ranbaxy Laboratories can no longer provide drugs produced from 4 of its factories to American customers. U.S. regulators said they were concerned about substandard quality. Ranbaxy saw its shares slide nearly 20%. Disappointing results for Samsung. Its net profits rose just 3.7% in the last 3 months of 2013, a sharp slowdown from the third quarter, which saw 25% growth. The South Korean firm warned that sales would likely remain slow in the first half of this year because of weak seasonal demand for products like smartphones, tablets, and televisions. And his firm lost billions last year, but JP Morgan's chief executive Jamie Dimon is still getting a pay raise. The bank's board voted to boost his salary to $20 million, but he'd been cut in 2012 after huge trading losses. JP Morgan's profits fell 16% last year, and it paid out more than $20 billion to regulators for violations related to the financial crisis. The pay hike almost doubles his salary from 2012. Not bad for a year's work, if you ask me. Back to you, Claire.
Thank you very much, Kate, for that roundup of all the business news here.